Well, Cantor, here we are. Just the two of us. We're hoping Paul makes it in here safely. But it's just going to be the two of us in a room and anyone who's watching, and we're so blessed to have a connection, at least through cyberspace. Why don't we take a nice deep breath of Shabbat air. We breathe in everything we hope to retain from this week, and we breathe out everything that we hope to expel. Take time now before we enter into Shabbat to consider everything that has happened in this week. Some weeks feel like moments, and some feel like eternity. I think for many of us, this was the latter. So we take time now to just reflect on what this week has meant. Think about those moments of social connection, perhaps through the phone, perhaps by watching on video, perhaps in person. Moments maybe at the supermarket or around the town, maybe even at work. Think of those moments and remember how blessed they were. And we bring all of those in, the sadness and the joy as well, as we enter into Shabbat. Let's take one deep breath. So this is a little bit strange for us, Cantor, as we figure out how to communicate and how to have Shabbat together, but I hope we'll have some joy here as well. I don't know if you wanted to say any words, because it's just me and you here.
Paul is on his way, so that's a good sign. We were going to open up with Ma Yafeh Hayom, which is on page 128. Might as well sing just a warm-up song.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Yeah. So if you have the digital version, it is in, you can click to it. Just look on our Facebook page or emails we sent out, 128.
I found that if you touch the page, it goes to the next page. Like if you just touch the page, it advances forward.
So cool.
And then also, have you found a way where you can go like really fast, like 100 pages? Have you really worked with it that much?
I wish I was a speed reader. It seemed pretty easy to use. I used it on my phone, so it was a little bit more difficult, but I think on a tablet it would work great.
Maya Hayom Shabbat Shalom Maya Hayom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom.
I can almost hear them out there. Actually, we always start off with Shabbat Shalom. So let's do that here. Shabbat Shalom! I can hear you guys. It's wonderful. I have a message from our president, Bruce Corris, who so wishes that he could be here in person. We're really trying to restrict, and this is likely our last broadcast from the sanctuary for a while. But I'd like to read his words, and I just want to, if you're out there, thank you for all you do for our community. It's really inspiring to me, and thank you for your leadership in this difficult time. So these are Bruce Corris's words. Shabbat Shalom. I wish I was telling you this myself, But the prudent decision was to limit tonight's service to the rabbi, Cantor, and Paul. After telling you we're taking every precaution we believe is necessary, having me there tonight would not be practicing what we preach. So the rabbi will convey my message to you. First, as I've said numerous times, your safety and peace of mind are of utmost importance to us. Every decision we make is based on that. Here's the very latest. Based on today's order by the governors, our staff will now work at home, but they will keep working, and the necessary business of the temple will not stop. Emails and voicemail messages will be checked from home. And I'll just add, call our cell phones. It's probably the easiest way to make sure you get in touch with us. These are back to Bruce's words. Religious school is canceled through April 20th, as are all Erie County public schools. Religious school director Einav Simons and our teachers are still working, even though they are at home, and will be regular contact with students and their parents to make sure your children will not miss out on their Jewish education. B'nai Mitzvah tutor Harvey Horowitz is doing that tutoring via phone. We will stay connected with you, whether that's online through Zoom or Facebook Live, other technology, or just on the phone. All temple events are postponed or canceled for now. Tomorrow morning service will be live streamed as well as Zoom. We will keep you informed of how next Friday's Shabbat services will take place, but be assured it will be provided in some form. Obviously, we will continue to assess things regularly and communicate with you regularly via email, social media, and the temple app. Thank you for your patience and understanding and support during this time. A special thank you to those of you who have called or emailed asking how you can help the temple and your fellow congregants. Times like this are why we have the Congregation Shir Shalom outreach program. If you can help by making phone calls to congregants needing social contact or making deliveries if possible, or if you would like to receive those calls or need deliveries, please email Nancy McGorry, nancy@shirshalombuffalo.org, or leave her a message by calling the temple office 633-8877. You can always contact myself, Joanne, the rabbi, or Cantor. Our cell phone numbers are in the emails you've received and the letter that I sent out this week. I look forward to being with you again in the sanctuary as soon as possible. In the meantime, be assured the Congregation Shir Shalom will be here to meet your needs in whatever way is possible. Stay safe, and thank you as always for being part of our temple family. Boy, I have never missed Bruce's words more. His voice. He has the most wonderful announcing voice. I think he was born in doing that. So thank you, Bruce, for your very kind words, and you are definitely here in spirit, as are all those who are joining with us. So we're going to begin with Hine Matov Umanayim on page 128. If you want to follow along, a lot of you know this one by heart, and I'll invite Cantor to welcome everyone here with how goodly it is to be together, brothers and sisters.
Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, hine matov. Yadadai, yadadadadadadai. Hine matov, hine matov. Yadadai, yadadadadadadai. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Hine matov umanayim, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
הנה מה טוב
טוב
ומה נעים,
ומנעים,
שבת
שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה
מה
טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם.
יחד.
And wonderfully, Paul is joining us. It's so wonderful to see you. I would suggest, if you're at home, please sing with us. You know, singing is so healing. I'd like to read a poem that Dr. Yonina Foster shared with me. It's by Reverend Dr. Lynn Unger, and I posted it on our Facebook page if you want to take a look. It's a wonderful poem about a difficult period, and she's a Unitarian minister, but she's thinking about us Jews. It's called Pandemic. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel, cease from buying and selling, give up just for now on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing, pray, touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has come clear. Do not reach out your hands, reach out your heart. Reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live. Beautiful words. I love that poem. Should we do our candle lighting?
Oh, sure.
Candle lighting is on page 120. If you have candles at home, we suggest you take them out. Whatever they are, it could just be electric lights if that's all you have. And I'm going to go down there and I'm going to invite Cantor to lead us in the prayer.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu leharik ner shel Shabbat.
And we turn to Kiddush on 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'yava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemahaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, b'yahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim, to life. I think we're ready to welcome in Shabbat. Shabbat is really, as the poet said, it's really a time to take stock of our life, to enjoy. We get actually a little more Shabbat in this time, but it's really important to recognize the way days flow from one to another. 138, if you're following along, and we'll sing the first 3 verses and the 9th verse. And if you're at home, rise, face your doorway. You bow to Shabbat as Shabbat enters into our room, and then you welcome everyone that's around you, and welcome us as well, and we'll welcome you. We rise. Like the Shabbat bride has made her way into our room. You might have noticed, you probably can't see out there, but I have a suit on, and I have my special tie, which is my wedding tie, along with my wedding kippah. And the reason is because I actually officiated at a wedding tonight.
Oh.
It was so beautiful because this is I think the official first day of spring, and the wedding was completely outside. Neighbors stood at a real distance, and it was a rather strange environment because of what's going on, but it was so happy and joyful and full with laughter, despite not being able to connect the way that we normally do. So we turn now to our blessing of community, the Baruch Hu, page 146. And as you're turning, I want to read a poem that I wrote a while back, and it is about how when we stand in a time where we feel unstable, we can still find some stability. And it's actually about visiting the ocean, that experience of when the water rushes to you, which kind of feels like where we are right now. It's called even in a rough sea. Even in a rough sea, when one wave pushes into the next and a strong swimmer must struggle to stay afloat, there can be a lull before the blue water reveals its sandy underbelly and the rabid white foam unleashes its fury. When the water is strangely calm, so if you turned your back and closed your eyes, you might forget to brace yourself and feel surprised to be overwhelmed by so much water. So we rise, finding our stability in this time, finding one another even when we cannot connect directly for the Baruch. If you're following along digitally, if you look at 147 on the bottom, please join with me. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthest most star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. We're going to turn to a song about love, Ahavat Olam, the love of God for us and us for God. Page 150.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amcha ha'avta Torah u'mitzvot chokim u'tzvaktim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shokveinu v'komeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Torah u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה.
Baruch Atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael, page 152, 153, the words of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shekevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shekevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We invite you to be seated, page 154, V'ahavta.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meotecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom ha'levavcha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha v'belechtecha v'derech v'b'shochbecha v'b'kumecha v'kshartam leot hayadecha v'hayu letotavot bein einecha v'chtabtam hamezuzot beitecha v'vish abrecha Liman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotziiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiyov lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
And we turn to page 159. I'm going to read the reading there. If you want to join with me, please join with me. I think it's important to, even if you're not present with us, to feel the presence. So I think if you're able to speak these words wherever you are, please join with me from cyberspace. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles as earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. On page 158, you'll find the Micha Mocha about that song of redemption. Blessed are you, God, Redeemer of Israel, Blessed are you, God, who brings us from the narrow spaces into the wide open space of freedom and togetherness. I'd like to have you turn to page 163. And if you look at the bottom there, we'll read together. These words, again, have special meaning on this day, different than in other weeks. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. We turn to the tefillah. I invite you to rise if you're able. It starts on 164 and will continue out loud through page 170. Please join with us.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibur v'Hanorah Edayon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezalchei Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem Le'ma'an Shemo Ve'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magid Abraham V'Yezrat Sarah Atah Gibur Le'olam Adonai V'chayei Hakol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaKashem Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed V'chayei Hakol V'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofeh Cholim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayim Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Bar Gevurut U'Bidom Elach Melech Meimit U'Mechayei U'Matzliach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah l'chachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh U'kedoshim b'chol yom Yehallelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
We'll take time for our own private prayers for just a couple minutes. Think about what you're grateful for even during these times, and send out love to your family and loved ones.
if I could sing. I'm worried about everybody. I'm worried about us. I'm worried about all of you. I'm worried about our country, everything. And this song is bringing it out. And I'm going to try to sing it.
Take your time. I think we're all feeling that right now.
Oh, say shalom, bimromav. Oh, say shalom, bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh.
Please help her out there, please.
Aleinu. Can't do it.
It's just not the same up here, Cantor and Paul. I think we're all going through our various emotions. It's really not the same not being together with one another. I know it was very strange for me to go through the supermarket. Everyone was so polite. I always thought that Buffalonians were polite, but this was a whole other level. There's a new practice at Wegmans that no one's allowed to come to the counter until one person has passed. So they clean, so when you go to the checkout, they actually clean the entire, they scrub it down, and the cashiers, and I felt so bad. I went to the cashier today at the Wegmans in Alberta, and she was someone, it was an older woman, and she loved her work, but she was so burnt out, and she was trying so much. I was there about 11 or so. She had to get through her shift at 3:30, and she didn't know if she could make it because it was so hard. And I was talking to her and thinking about the heroic actions of just going to the supermarket, of just working in the supermarket, of all those people out there that are in the world trying to make a difference in their little and big ways, and helping people cope with this time, sometimes putting themselves in danger. And it's really quite something, being in our nuclear family units and treasuring those moments and missing one another. It's actually, there's something in the end of this week's Torah portion. We happen to be at the end of Exodus. And in Exodus, it was a time of tumult and growth. And we didn't know where it would end up. And it ends up in this really happy point where everything is set up and it's ready for community. At the very end, I'm going to read you the end, and it has something to do with our ark here, and it just feels so relevant. It says, let me find the right place, from verse 30 and the last chapter, chapter 40 of Exodus. It says, "And he set the laver," this is Moses, "between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water therein wherewith to wash, that Moses and Aaron and his sons might wash their hands and their feet thereat, when they went to the tent of meeting, and when they came near unto the altar, they should wash as the Lord commanded Moses. And he reared up the court round about the tabernacle and the altar, and set up the screen on the gate of the court. So Moses finished the work. Then the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter into the tent of meeting, because the cloud abode therein, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And whenever the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the children of Israel went onward through all their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they journeyed not till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of the Lord was upon the tabernacle by day, and there was fire therein by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys. I love this moment. First of all, the last thing they do is set up washing stations. It just feels exactly like the time frame that we're in. That here, they already knew they should wash before they enter in with community, before they commune with God. And then we have this detail about a cloud that would cover over the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, that movable, portable sanctuary that they took through the wilderness. And when that cloud was there, God was there, and they needed to stay put. And when that cloud left, it was time to go. That's actually what's depicted on our ark here, with the fire on the side leading our way at night, and the pillars behind it as the cloud. And I always wondered and thought about this moment with the cloud hovering over. In some senses, it feels sad. I think of Eeyore, who always has the cloud with the rain coming down on his head wherever he goes. And there's a certain sadness because they're stuck in that moment. But I don't think that's the intention of the text. The cloud is not a cloud of fear, even though Moses can't go into the tent. It's a cloud of blessing, of being watched over. And it also is an indication that they need to stay put. There's nothing else to do. There's no more journeys until that cloud leaves. Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen that cloud gather in the heavens over our lives. We've seen the way our movements have become restricted to the point it's just the three of us here, and everyone is self-isolating in their households. And we could feel like Eeyore, and we could feel the sadness of not being able to be together. But I hope we also feel God's presence, just like that they did, that there are moments of joy and happiness along the way. And we don't know where this is headed. And that's part of what makes it scary. And it was no different for the Israelites back there. This morning, as I awoke, I often, in the morning is the best time to work for me before the kids really get going. And I was trying to think about something I wanted to write to the Buffalo News, so I'm going to share it. At the end of it, there is the words of the poem that I already read previously. We are living at a time of contagion. Even as the coronavirus sweeps through our neighborhoods and world, another more benevolent force does as well, kindness. I heard it in the story of my octogenarian congregant wintering in Florida, who, desperate for toilet paper and finding only empty shelves, was offered the personal supply of one of the workers at her supermarket. I heard it in the story of the local Unitarian minister, who stepped in to film the graveside funeral of a Jewish man whose daughter was heartbroken that she could not make it into town for the service. I heard it in the voices of my Bible study group at a local nursing home who held a phone up to one another to continue our conversation virtually, even as in-person gatherings had become impossible. And I heard it in the many notices we received from teachers and administrators in Amherst Central School District who are working hard to continue my children's education from afar. It is during these times of constriction that we realize just how lucky we are. Interactions that once blended into the rhythm of the week are now filled with meaning. I have taken to signing off my email communications with the words, "Stay safe, stay healthy." I feel the need to express I love you in any conversation I have with anyone. And physical sightings of people on walks with our dog have left me feeling teary-eyed. We need each other more than ever, even as our movements become increasingly restricted. Just as I have seen in other times in societal crisis, normal boundaries between strangers have broken down. This is when we realize that when it comes down to it, we are all in this together. So this is the moment I express my thanks. Thank you to the frontline workers in hospitals and nursing homes, supermarkets, and police stations. You who put yourself at risk are so appreciated. Thank you to the politicians and societal leaders who have made the hard decisions to shut things down even in the face of opposition. Thank you to all those who are obeying social distancing measures. As hard as it is, each one of us who chooses to stay in the confines of our homes increases the likelihood we can flatten the curve of the pandemic. Thank you to the Buffalo News and other local news sources who continue to keep us informed and give us a semblance of normalcy in a world turned upside down. Thank you to fellow clergy leaders and community activists who continue to stay in touch with their flocks, even as religious services and other public gatherings have come to a halt. I, like most of you, am filled with trepidation about what the coming weeks and months have in store for us. This is like nothing I have seen in my lifetime, an invisible war against an enemy that forces us to give up the things we hold most dear. As my biblical ancestors once said to one another, be strong and resolute. Even as you feel yourself turning away from one another for fear of who might already be infected, feel those other mysterious forces of love and compassion, of goodwill and kindness that know no physical bounds. As the poet Lynn Ungar recently wrote in her poem Pandemic, do not reach out your hands, reach out your heart. Reach out your words, reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. In that spirit, I send my prayers out to you, dear reader. May you, who I cannot see and may not know, feel the strength to overcome anything that comes your way. So, we've reached the end of a book. It's customary to offer strength to one another. And we'll say the words, chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. We'll say those to each other to give us strength in these difficult times. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. I don't know, Cantor, if you're feeling up to, if you want to share anything?
No.
Okay. So we're going to move into our healing prayer. And actually, I did find something in the Daf Yomi, this page of Talmud a day, since if you're at home and you have a chance to do this, go and read it. It was a wonderful lesson about Shabbat and Shalom and about healing prayers on Shabbat. It's from the Tractate Shabbat, 12b. It says, Rabbi Yehuda says that it's appropriate to say, may the Omnipresent have compassion upon you and upon all the sick people of Israel. In other words, you can say that on Shabbat. Rabbi Yossi says that it is appropriate to say, may the Omnipresent have compassion upon you among the sick people of Israel, thereby including this sick person within the community of Israel. When Shevna of Jerusalem would visit a sick person on Shabbat, upon entering, he would say, Shalom. And when he exited, he would say, it is Shabbat. When one is permitted to cry out, healing is soon to come. And his compassion is abundant, and rest on Shabbat is peace. I love that section because you say Shabbat Shalom, you say it's Shalom Shabbat in this case. First you say Shalom, wishing for health, and then you say Shabbat, because it's a reminder that you're allowed to call out to God during that time. And there was another little bit that I loved as well, just a couple of lines after that, where it says, and Rabbi Hanina said, it was only with great difficulty that the sages permitted comfort to mourners and visit the sick on Shabbat, as both the visitor and the comforter experience suffering on Shabbat. Just a little bit further down, it says, Rabbi Anan said, from where is it derived that the divine presence cares for and aids the sick person? As it is stated, God will support him on the bed of illness. The Gemara commented that was also in a Braita. One who enters to visit the sick person should sit neither on the bed nor on the chair. Rather, he should wrap himself in his prayer shawl with trepidation and awe and sit before the sick person below him, as the divine presence is above the head of the sick person. As it is stated, God will support him on the bed of illness. So there's the sense that they didn't know. Are you allowed to say Misha Berach on Shabbat? Are you allowed to ask for healing? And they say, yes, you are. And that God's presence actually comes to the sick person and sits above their head. So if you visit the person, you're not allowed to touch them. You come near them and you wrap yourself in the prayer shawl. So we're going to say our healing prayers. And our list this week is Chad Ayers, Susan Bell, Vivian Burstein, Peter Coyle, Kathy and Chris Crawford, Joyce Gafter, Greg Hill, Erica Horwitz, Janice Nomi Kent, Marcy Leonard, Diane Lynch, Natasha Kokin, Cindy Mikulik, Fern Middleman, David Pariso, Larry Perlitz, Mohan Shaitye, Carol Silverman, Gail Siskin, Howard Smallin, Flora Snett, Laura Spire, Avraham Ben Moshe, Sarah Bat Chaya, Malka Bat Naftali, Gershon Ben Shlomo, and Kayla Bat Miriam. And I got a message from Nancy Sternman, a good friend in the community, whose brother is working in New York City in one of the hospitals, in one of the pulmonary, the lung section of the hospital, and she asked us to send special prayers to him, given what he's facing in New York City. So we'll take time, call out the names of people that you're thinking about, send healing to them. You don't have to just do that now. You can do that whenever you'd like. I think the more prayers, the better. The prayer is on page 370. Send out healing blessings. I forgot to also mention to everyone who's suffering with the virus itself, we send healing blessings as well. We're going to turn to page 586 for Alinu. We need to do more than pray. We need to do good things in this world, and we rise if you're able. Alinu nishabeach ladon hako latit be seated, and we turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. I would like to mention someone's name in particular. Funerals are very difficult now because only immediate family and it's only graveside at this point for all. That's the directive across the state for all the funeral homes. We had a funeral in our community of Jerry Michaels, who was a really wonderful, interesting individual, born in 1929. He loved making airplane models. He was very fascinated. He went to MIT and he worked at Bell Aerospace and also for NASA. And he helped with the lunar module landing. He's apparently a wonderful person. I'm mentioning him just because so many people weren't able to be at the service. I think they ended up streaming it. I talked to his daughter Sue and his grandson Benjamin, and I promised them that we would say his name in services and be able to eulogize him that way. And it sounded like a wonderful human being. For those of you that knew him, he had 3 kids, 1 deceased, and 6 grandkids and 10 grandkids and 5 great-grandchildren. May his memory be for a blessing. We're also remembering Dorothea Brooks, Harriet Terry Cohen, Marilyn Hawk, Ray Heller, Erwin Schreiber, Murray Soroka, Richard Spelling, Beatrice Bitsy Schultz, all who died in the last 30 days. On our yard-side list from years past, we remember Jerome Abelson, Leo Adler, Celia Atkin, Diane Hurwitz-Baumler, Rebecca Bahovsky, Sam J. Kamhai, Sadia Ann Cohen, Minnie Engel, Lillian Enzel, Alex Foreman, Uri Gegner, Morris Galinsky, Reverend Emmanuel Gordon, Dr. Eric Kaminsky, Ida Kent, Robert Corin, Inez Crone, Rose Kutzman-Kushner, Arthur Littman, Wilbert Nusanov, Sidney M. Olson, Julius J. Pick, Levian Burke Reich, Evan Remsen, Rich Rosenthal, Patricia H. Savitt-Barone, Max Schatzberg, Anita Schneider, John Staley Shevitt, Jack Sperling, Gertrude Schwartz, Clara Theander, Stanley J. Weinberg, Joseph Weiss, Isaac Worthman, Thelma Weissman, Melody J. Wolf, and Dorothy Wolf. I invite you out there or in here, if you have other names you want to mention, just say them out loud to those that are gathered with you, and those whose custom it is to rise, please rise. Again, the page is 598. And if you're just following on or catching on late, the digital copy of Mishkan Tefillah is available on our Facebook, or we sent out the link on email, and you can find the entirety of the prayer book. We're very thankful for the URJ for making that available. The CCAR, sorry. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divra chirate v'yamlik malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomachon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah v'rach li'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudasha b'rechu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'imrumav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world. And we say, Amen. Zikronam livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. I'm going to turn to our announcements, which Joanne, who did so much work in preparation for this, she did put this in little tiny font, and Bruce, I really wish you were here for this. Shabbat Shalom. We would like to thank you for your understanding of our streaming of services only as a precaution due to the coronavirus. A special thank you to Rabbi Alex, Cantor Frank, and Paul Staley for a lovely service in honor of Shabbat. And thank you for all of you for joining us. There is no Torah study tomorrow. We will stream the Shabbat morning service at 11. It will also be available by Zoom video conferencing. Go to the website for the link. Religious school is closed until April 20th, then will be reevaluated. The pre-Passover pasta party is canceled. We still are having our adult B'nai Mitzvah class ongoing. There'll be a Zoom meeting at 9:30, and we'll have a chance to reevaluate. Bingo is canceled. Band rehearsal, Women of Shir Shalom Bible Study, the Braille group, Stop the Bleed training, all canceled. I am having virtual office hours. We tried this the first time this week. No one attended, but it's okay. You can always just call me. But we do have a Zoom link that will be available at 1:30. And if you'd like to join me and talk maybe perhaps to others, please join in. We are also initiating an outreach program to connect members able to help other members. We're looking for volunteers. The volunteers would be calling people, particularly shut-ins, to check in to see if there's any need and just to make sure that they have people looking out for them. And also, if you're someone who could benefit for that, just let us know. Nancy McGorry in the Temple office is collecting those names. We are next week, as Bruce indicated in the announcements before, we'll let you know about what the service will look like. Hopefully it will be by streaming from here. The second night Seder for Passover is canceled, and we are still selling Delta Sonic washes and interior cleanings for $12. If you'd contact our office by email or call Joanne, I'm sure she can get you those. So that's the announcements that we have. And as you see in the sign when you go by, all public events are canceled for right now, or postponed, we should say. Let's see, I think we're towards the end of the service. We have Tefillat HaDerech. We're praying for safe journeys back home. We have so many college kids, 300,000 of them, coming from all over the world, coming back. A lot of people from overseas, especially with the Canadian-Mexican borders closed. Everyone's encouraged to come back, so we wish everyone a safe travel. I saw a number of you came back from your travels, and we're grateful that you came back. The prayer is on page 649, and please join in from wherever you are.
We like to think of this song as not just being on the road, but whatever our journeys are, even if it's through the day, just making it through the day, this is what we wish you. We wish you blessing and peace and health and joy. May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. Amen. on the amens. Amen. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen.
Wonderful. Before I say Hamotzi and we start moving to the end of our service, I did forget one announcement. Cantor doesn't even know about this. Yonina Foster, every day at 3 o'clock, I think it's going to be during the week, we're still trying to figure it out, is offering a 15-minute Zoom meditation song sharing. We're calling it a meditation moment at 3 o'clock, so be on the lookout for that. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. I think
We're both gluten-free, so you got to
yeah,
do it at home.
yeah, here, I'll give it to you guys. You can have it. Paul could take it home with him. I think we have Yom Zel Yisrael to conclude.
Yom Zel Yisrael, Oram v'simcha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Oram v'simcha. Oram v'simcha, Oram v'simcha. Oram v'simcha, Oram v'simcha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Shabbat menucha. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha. Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha. Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Shabbat menucha. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha.
As you came in peace, may you leave in peace. We send you Shabbat greetings for a wonderful and safe Shabbat of rest and blessing.